What is up guys, it's Solheim here, back again with another TBC Classic video. It's been a little while now since we did our last TBC Classic video, so today we are doing a TBC Phase 3 preparation and investments video. This will mainly be focused on gold making. Actually, it will only be focused on gold making because, well, that's the part of the game that I think is fun for TBC Classic. So I love farming gold, I love investing, and most of my gold has actually come from investments. So today I want to talk about investments for Phase 3 and things you should consider buying now, and then maybe sell in Phase 3 and you might end up making some gold. So let's just take a look at what is coming out in Phase 3 first. Today's video is sponsored by G.Round. G.Round, also known as G.Round, is a global gaming community platform discovering unreleased outstanding games in all gaming genres. New games are updated every Thursday. On G.Round you can play 2 free games every single week. You can talk to game developers and directly help them improve their games by providing feedback in your language. By participating in events such as downloading games, playing the game, testing out the games and writing reviews and feedback on those games, you can also earn G-Points, which you can redeem for amazing gear from the G-Point store. So what are you waiting for? Download, play, have fun, and help game developers through G.Round right now by clicking the link in the top of the description, as well as the pinned comment. So obviously you will have 2 new raids coming out in Phase 3. You have the Black Temple and Mount Hyjal. Both of these are coming out, which, well, first of all gives us new gear. So obviously enchants will be in play, you have great gems being in play. Everything that comes with new gear is in play, and you will be able to make tons of gold just through that and selling enchants and stuff. But we also have, inside the raids, you have specific types of gear that will be required for those raids. For example, Black Temple will require shadow resistance gear, which is a point we will get back to later in the video. But basically, we have 2 new raids coming out which will require different types of gear, and you will get lots of new gear as well to replace your old stuff. You also have TBC Phase 3 badge gear, you have PvP gear coming out, and you also have a new reputation, Netherwing Drakes. I don't think there's much gold making potential when it comes to Netherwing Drakes, so let's just go back and focus on the raids. The first thing I want to talk about is Mana Thistles. I've been investing big time into Mana Thistles ever since the launch of TBC Classic. I've been farming Mana Thistles and I've been buying them all the time, so I have quite a few Mana Thistles by now. And my main thought with Mana Thistles was to buy them in Phase 1, early in Phase 1, and then sell them in Phase 2, but because I thought a lot more people would be flasking in Phase 2, but apparently either it's just not enough it's not enough people actually flasking in Phase 2, or there's just way too many Mana Thistles around. It's just impossible. I'm not making the profit that I was looking to make from the Mana Thistles, and the thing is, for Phase 3, you have kind of a divide. They could go up in price and they could go down. So let's talk about that for a little bit, because I initially thought that I had to sell all of my Mana Thistles instantly before Phase 3, because there's something coming out in Phase 3 that will devalue the Mana Thistles, but there's also something coming out that might drive the price up. So we have a price up versus price down type of situation. It could go up and it could go down. So let me just tell you my point of view, and then let me know in the comment section down below if you think Mana Thistles will go up or down in price in Phase 3. So first, let's talk about why the price of Mana Thistles might end up going down. As I said, I was investing in Mana Thistles for flasks, and we have an item coming out in Phase 3 from Black Temple called Mark of the Illidari. And getting Mark of the Illidari, you can actually hand these in to a vendor in Shattrath for a flask. 1 Mark of the Illidari will get you 1 flask, and these flasks can only be activated in Tempest Keep, Serpentine Cavern, Caverns of Time aka Mount Hyjal, Black Temple, and the Sunwell Plateau. So they can be used inside specific raids. Well, they can be used inside the relevant raids, and this will probably be what most people will end up using when it comes to flasks. They give you the same stats, they still work for 2 hours, so it's pretty much a almost free flask. The flasks are BOP, so they're binds when picked up, but the marks can be sold. So one of these marks will pretty much be the same as getting 3 Mana Thistles, And in that case, well, not just 3 mana thistles, but creating a flask costs you 1 fell lotus, 3 mana thistle, and 7 different types of herbs. So for the Flask of Blinding Light, which is the spell damage flask for Arcane, Holy, and Nature, you will need 7 Netherbloom. But then again, also for the Flask of Relentless Assault, which is the attack power flask, you will need 7 Terracones, and they are absolutely horrible to farm, and they are selling for quite a lot right now. So I think, no matter how you look at it, the mark of the Illidari will mean that you will have access to cheaper flasks, and just based on that, the price of mana thistles should be going down. That being said though, mana thistles are used for more things. So for example, you can create major arcane protection potions, major fire, frost, holy, and nature protection potions, and last but not least, major shadow protection potions. So I said you would need some shadow resistance gear for Black Temple. Now you can also use shadow protection potions, and we have a shadow protection potion for TBC Classic, which is called Major Shadow Protection Potion, which requires 1 Primal Shadow and 3 mana thistles to craft. And on top of that, you can also craft a cauldron. Actually, when you create it, I think you get 5, so you can get 5 shadow protection potions from that craft. But you can also craft a cauldron, and that requires you to pretty much double your materials, so 2 primal shadows, 7 mana thistles. You can create a cauldron of major shadow protection potions, which can give you 25 uses and lasts for 5 minutes. So basically, a full 25-man raid can use that and get themselves a major shadow protection potion. So the debate, in my opinion, is the fact that, well, both of these require 3 mana thistles to make, but a flask would last you for 2 hours. A major shadow protection potion only lasts for 2 minutes, and also has a 2-minute cooldown. So if there is a lot of shadow damage going on and you don't have the shadow resistance that you need, you might end up popping these like bad boys and use several of them for each raid instead of just using 1 flask. Speaking of shadow resistance though and Black Temple, buy anything with shadow resistance except for necklaces, because you can get a 40 shadow resistance necklace from Phase 3, so you can buy anything else, but also you can craft things in Phase 3 as well that gives you shadow resistance. So all of these crafts in Phase 3 for shadow resistance require Primal Life and Primal Shadow. For example, the Knight's End, which is a cloak with 30 stamina and 40 shadow resistance, requires 2 Primal Life and 2 Primal Shadows, as well as various other items as well, but those 2 are the main ones that you can invest in right now to make a profit. You also have the Shade Steel Bracers, Shade Steel Girdle, Shade Steel Greaves, and Shade Steel Sabot. Basically the plate set, which consists of 4 different items, and crafting all of these will require 11 Primal Life and 16 Primal Shadow. You have similar sets for both leather, mail, and cloth as well, and one thing they have in common, well, they all require Hearts of Darkness and Void Crystals, but they all also require Primal Life and Primal Shadow. So Primal Life and Primal Shadow has the possibility to absolutely explode in price in Phase 3, and anyone who gets a hold of this knowledge early will be able to make absolute bank from just buying and selling these items. One more item that I want to mention is the Shadow Armor Kit, which can permanently increase the shadow resistance of an item worn on the chest, legs, hands, or feet by 8, giving you even more shadow resistance as well. And this one also requires Primal Life to craft, as well as Heavy Knothide Leather. So Heavy Knothide Leather / Knothide Leather could potentially be a gold mine. If everyone else is focusing on Primal Life and Primal Shadow, you can focus on the other items, and they will have less demand for them when people are buying, so the prices might not have skyrocketed just yet, but Primal Lives are once again used all over the place. Primal Life and Primal Shadow. You could also scout the auction house for any green items that are BOE or binds when equipped, that also have off shadow protection stats on them, so giving you shadow resistance. You could search the auction house for those, but in my opinion, based on my experience so far in TBC Classic and Classic WoW, people care a little bit too much about their DPS, so I think they will stick to the crafted sets that give them like 40 shadow resistance per item, and then just use regular raid items, and maybe use some shadow protection potions on top of that as well. That being said though, I think that's pretty much it for Phase 3 of Classic WoW. It is not as interesting of an investment video as I would want it to be, but honestly I think the few items that have potential have a lot of potential as well, because well, they're going to be in constant demand all throughout Phase 3, and the demand will absolutely explode as well when people start raiding, so just buy these items, you're almost guaranteed to make a profit. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be making a little bit more TBC Classic videos now. I have started playing TBC Classic again, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm loving farming gold in TBC. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Once again, let me know in the comment section down below if you think Mana Thistles will be going up or down in price in Phase 3. And if you want more TBC content, consider subscribing as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.